Well, Australia's tough but effective border protection policies have for a long time been the envy of many nations who also struggle with the crisis of masses of asylum seekers. But as the UK are learning the hard way, solving the problem is a lot harder than it looks. Just this week, Priti Patel, the British Home Affairs Secretary, has been locked in a legal battle with the European Court of Human Rights, seeking to block the government's plans to send asylum seekers, much as we do to Nauru, to Rwanda for processing. Joining me now from London is Spiked Online political editor Brendan O'Neill. Brendan, fantastic to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Rowan. Hope you're well too.
Thank you, mate. Very much so. Well, 11,000 migrants, Brendan, have made the illegal crossing into the UK this year, more than double the same number as last year. So the government's plans, based on Australia's Operation Sovereign Borders, are being blocked. Brendan, tell us the story.
It's really outrageous, actually. So this week, judges at the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg effectively blocked the first flight of migrants to Rwanda. They frustrated a government policy. And what we are witnessing the emergence of a new anti-democratic alliance in the UK. It's made up of monarchy with Prince Charles, clergy with all the unelected bishops in the House of Lords, and now these judges in Strasbourg who are all clubbing together essentially to thwart a government policy enacted by a government that was voted into power by 14 million people. So we're seeing this new alliance which effectively thinks that its moral feelings should count more than millions of votes. And I think that's incredibly worrying, and we should support the government going ahead, even if we agree or disagree with the Rwanda policy itself.
Well, what happened to Brexit? Wasn't that... Why has the EU got any say in this at all? I thought you voted for Brexit.
Well, the ECHR is not directly linked to the EU. It's a court that countries can sign up for in Europe. We need to remove ourselves from the European Court of Human Rights, not because I don't believe in rights and liberty. I absolutely do. But the European Court of Human Rights is not a seat of liberty. It is an interfering court which frequently tells nations to stop doing what they want to do. So we need to get out of the ECHR in exactly the same way that we got out of the EU.
Well, we've had Partygate, which you've spoken to us about several times here before. Is Boris going to survive, or is Partygate going to swallow him up like a bowl of chips at a party in Downing Street one evening?
My feeling is that people are bored of Partygate now. I mean, yes, we were annoyed that people in Downing Street were having parties while the rest of us were locked in our homes under threat of being fined and arrested. But it's so obvious that people are using Partygate to try and damage Boris because they don't like him politically, and to try and do damage to Brexit as well. People are openly saying that. So Partygate is being cynically exploited by people in the establishment who just don't like Boris. And lots of voters can see through that. And I think they want government officials and others to focus on the crises that we face rather than talking about a 5-minute birthday party that happened in Downing Street 2 years ago.
And finally, Brendan, you mentioned Prince Charles as part of the group that are pushing against, you believe, democracy. Tell us more about that and his comments about Rwanda policy being appalling, his climate comments. The Queen, she's never uttered a word. Is she speaking to him, or is she ignoring this? What's happening?
Prince Charles has not learned the clearest lesson from his mother's reign, which is that you keep your mouth closed. And if you are the monarch, or if you are the heir to the throne, you do not express your opinions in public. The Queen did that fantastically for 70 years. Charles can't do it for 7 minutes. He should tell his opinions to his plants and leave the rest of us alone.
I love it. Charles, you've got to go and speak more to those plants. I can see the Queen calling him in and saying, Charles, now, actually, when we told you to stop talking to plants, actually, we wish you would talk to more plants. That's, Brendan, that is brilliant. I love it. That's fantastic advice. Brendan O'Neill, thanks so much for joining us here on Credlin.